Hello everybody, welcome back into the video. So, it's been a while since we covered Sonic on this channel, mainly because there hasn't been really that much in the past few months in terms of like big, major news when it comes to Sonic. So that's kind of why I haven't really talked about it much. But now with the financial holdings that came out last week, this past week or whatnot, I'd say it's time we kind of revisit Sonic again, because there's been some really good news coming out in terms of performance of Sonic Frontiers and what their plans are. Whenever, the Sonic team will get a bigger budget for the next game and whatnot. And it's all good news, I'd say. But first off, I'd like to give a shout out to Apex Gaming PCs. For those who are interested in, getting into PC gaming, Apex Gaming PCs has a website where you can customize your game PC to buy pre-built ones. They also partner with various content creators, and they affiliate new ones, like myself. And if you're interested for one on a sale, or you can build your own, they have options for that as well. Again, link in the description below if you're interested. Now let's get on to the video. So here's what they've had to say. Now we'll first talk about the sales. How well did it do? Well, according to Sega themselves, it exceeded expectations. Here's what they had to say. In a Q&A with investors last week, Sega Simon's whole executive vice president Makoto Takahashi and IR/SR general manager Nobuaki Yoshi. If I said those names wrong, I apologize. They stated that despite the game's Metacritic score being lower than they had hoped, the game has sold better than expected. At the time of publishing, the game has Metascores between 69 and 75 across its target platforms. That's definitely way better than Sonic Forces was, so I'd say they achieved in that regard. But anyway, during the Q&A, one investor noted the average price of Frontiers has not dropped very much since it was released, and asked what the company's sales strategy was for the game going forward. In terms of the selling price, we temporarily wholesale on Black Friday, like most games are, and for our initial strategy, we have since returned the previous price and have been able to achieve results so far, while maintaining the price level to a certain extent. Kid reply, continuing. The number of units will greatly exceed the full year plan at the beginning of the fiscal year, and we recognize that this is a title that we will continue to sell over the long term, based on our sales strategies such as pricing, promotions, and the development of free DLC. We talked about that in my last Sonic related video, but anyway. When asked to evaluate the quality of Sonic Frontiers based on critic and player reaction, Mike Sega replied, although it is true that the Metacritic score was slightly lower than expected, they were probably aiming for like 80s most likely. We believe that we were able to release a title that has been well received by many people around the world thanks to extremely high ratings from users. I say that's personally more important because you want to aim your vocal fan base, and based on what I've seen, they nailed that regard. But anyway, we plan to release the recently announced additional DLCs sequentially, and we believe that we can continue to build up repeat sales. In addition, starting with Prime, which started on Netflix in December. Check that out if you have Netflix. I definitely recommend it. But anyway, we plan to further expand the Sonic IP in the future, such as the third movie and merchandising. So this is kind of like a recap by VGC and whatnot, kind of detailing what the DLC is going to be. We kind of talked about that before. Now, for those who are kind of hoping that because of Sonic Frontiers' success, that Sonic Team themselves would get new bigger budget, I got some good news for you. It seems like that is happening across all the board when it comes to all of Sega's big franchises. And Sonic is the mascot, so they better get a big budget, I would say. But anyway, the first question was kind of about the sales and whatnot that we just went over. With the strong performance of Sonic Frontiers and other global titles, will you be focusing more on products like in the future? Here's what they had to say. We expect development costs for new games to grow even larger in the future. We will strive to ensure solid quality in the development of major titles from our existing franchises. However, development labor costs will rise due to the impact of the global external environment. You kind of already know what they're referring to at this point. I'm not going to say though, because that's just how YouTube is. But anyway, and we expect this trend to continue for the foreseeable future since it is necessary to take on these challenges for major games. We are proceeding with a bigger budget, even from the basic research stage. Therefore, we assume that development costs for future new titles will increase accordingly. And here's kind of what, in the last one was kind of basically about the whole fiscal year, or whatnot. So, yeah, Sonic Team is going to be getting a bigger budget, and what they mean by solid quality, I think they mean that, because Sonic Frontiers has proven itself to be a rather quality Sonic game compared to the last decade. And that's kind of saying something, so, because especially Forces, like, kind of really really made people really upset in a lot of ways. So, and Sega obviously knew this, but they really, kind of addressed, like character development, especially when it comes to Tales, very well. They kind of, played off upon that in Tales' character arc in Frontiers. So, I'd say all of them got really good character development in this game, and that was a highlight of the story of Frontiers in my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, Sega, I hope the success of Frontiers kind of convinces you to give Sonic Team, the time they need, because while for the most part Frontiers was polished, I did notice, some glitches, but like here and there, it wasn't massively buggy compared to other notorious Sonic games because of development being rushed and whatnot. So, and literally Sonic Team had to fight tooth and nail to get that extra year. That just kind of shows you how notorious Sega management is when it comes to rushing Sonic games out the door to meet a holiday release. And fortunately, Sonic Team got their wish and the game was delayed an extra year. Luckily, thank goodness for that, because yeah, I'd say it proved it, because hopefully, like I said before, it convinces upper Sega management to give Sonic Team the amount of time that they need to make a quality game, because I think they did an excellent job with Frontiers, because that's such a strong foundation for the future of 3D Sonic games. Like I said in my review, I really love the game. So I haven't played it much because I kind of already beaten the game like 3 times and got all the achievements and whatnot. So I'll definitely play it again. Obviously, when the first DLC comes, I'll check it out. I'll probably cover it as well, whatever the new challenge modes and everything are. Should be pretty interesting to see what they come up with. I'm looking forward to that. But enough of 3D Sonic. Now, there's people who are more into the 2D Sonic style of games. So if you're curious about whenever 2D Sonic will still continue, I got some good news for you too. Because a fan was talking about Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2, and they tagged the director of Sonic Frontiers, and they asked him, what is there a plan for 2D Sonic to return in terms of a new game for that particular style of gameplay? And the director of Sonic Frontiers actually responded to them, so here's what he had to say. Hello, thank you for translating into Japanese. It's a Sonic game made by Dimps. Talk about Sonic 4 Episodes 1 and 2. In addition to 3D Sonic games also have side-scrolling Sonic games, so please look forward to them. So obviously, yes. If you are more of a 2D person when it comes to the Sonic franchise, yes. 2D Sonic games will continue in one form. Who knows though? Because I remember reading rumors that there was going to be a 2D Sonic game in like the modern world of Sonic. Whatever that could mean. Modern style. Maybe they're referencing maybe like the Rush games maybe? Which that would be a good foundation to build upon, by the way. Or a new Sonic Advance or whatnot. But I know Sonic 4, 1, and 2 were like very controversial. Sonic 4 Episode 1 was definitely way more received than Episode 2 was, but I did like those 2 games for what they were, but I kind of get why Sega didn't continue in Episode 3, because I think there was plans for it to be like a whole trilogy or something, but obviously that didn't pan out because of the reaction to Episode 2, which is completely understandable that, that happened. I totally get it. But yeah, there was plans. I think I remember reading like earlier this week or whatnot that there was going to be one in like 2021, but seemingly that game got shelved. But maybe they kind of pick it back up now, since literally the director of Sonic Frontiers is saying to continue to expect 2D Sonic games in the future, so maybe they revive that project and finish it. Who really knows at this point? So, but yeah, if you're kind of hoping seemingly the future of the Sonic franchise is very bright, with Sonic Frontiers getting a bigger budget sequel, not to mention 2D Sonic games coming out, plus the free DLC that's coming for Sonic Frontiers this year, plus Sonic Prime Season 2, assumingly later this year, plus the 3rd movie, which is introducing Shadow in December of 2024, plus obviously there's going to be new merchandise and everything, so the future of Sonic is looking pretty bright, I would say. And hopefully that this momentum continues, because it's nice to see that the Sonic franchise is in a better shape after so long of it being laughed at because of the absolute piss poor quality of 3D Sonic games over the past decade or so. I mean, Sonic Forces, I know that's kind of being a dead horse, but it's the little truth, you know. So I hope Sega continues to listen to fan feedback and really give Sonic Team the time they need, because despite Sonic Frontiers being such a good quality game, you could tell that the game was rushed in certain areas. You can really tell. But that's all I really gotta say at this point. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers really helped steer the series in a new direction, in a much more positive light. Not to mention, you know, also the movies as well. So hopefully Sega, like I said, Sega continues this momentum, and because right now the series is looking in a pretty good spotlight right now. So time will see what happens in the future. But all I gotta say is I'm really excited, because Sonic Frontiers really rejuvenated my love for the series. Because not gonna lie, after Forces, I was feeling pretty down on the series. So I imagine a lot of people were feeling the same way, but Frontiers really was a bold new direction for the series, and I'd say it paid off, because as a strong start for the future. But yeah, that's all I gotta say at this point. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below, and if you like this video, hit the like button, and consider hitting that sub button so you do not miss any more videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, have a good one.